guys. Hey everybody. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Hey
Hello.
Lavelle. Hey Pretty Cat. Hey Galatians 6-7 and hey Nakenya. Guys, we're back again to have a discussion and dig deeper into the case with okay, I want to say the last name correctly.
McCraney.
Oh, McCraney. Okay, Colleen McCraney. It's like a tongue twister for me.
Yeah.
Hey, and welcome back to Jeanette, his spouse, his wife, who's fighting hard for him, who's sticking in there. And those who missed
Oh, yeah.
yesterday, I'm going to give you guys a little recap of what's going on. Miss Jeanette's husband was just recently convicted and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And the conviction comes from a 1999 case of two teenage girls who were, I would say, execution style because they were shot.
Yeah.
One was shot in the back of the head, the other one was shot in the face. And this case is over 20 something years old. And because of DNA, Mr. McCurney was charged, convicted, and now is facing life in prison. And the purpose we're here is to bring some information out to people and to understand that um, he is not guilty of what was already said at trial. And I know people think that a verdict from a jury of his peers is what actually happened, but from what I've read and what I've seen and things I've dug into, I see that a lot of things were not presented at trial. There was a lot of things that was disallowed in trial, and I don't believe he actually had a fair trial. So,
That's correct.
so I'm gonna go ahead and let Jeanette talk. Sorry.
Basically, I'm just trying to get out the awareness of it all. Um, the judge was pretty much for the prosecutors head on. Nothing was admitted that we really could have used to help my husband. Because the judge objected to everything. It was as if he already had in his mind nothing my defense party said was going to go through. So it's kind of like it's modern day lynching. We didn't have a chance, not with that judge, because there was no evidence to prove anything, nothing at all, nothing but semen. And semen, I mean, that's self-explanatory. He explained how that was there. But even with that being so, he was still convicted on all charges. One man, they're claiming, did this crime. So that's where we're at right now. Just needing to bring to light that you can be convicted on DNA alone if you're not given a chance to actually fight for yourself. So
There are some questions that were sent to me, and I'm gonna ask you because you have been in this fight from the beginning. And
yeah,
one of the questions that was posed to me was that if the thing that's really confusing to some people is that um, when they were doing all this questioning, and he knew that he had had some sort of relations with her that evening, why didn't he come up forth and tell them this in the beginning?
you talking about in the last 4 years?
No,
Because
in the
that's the
beginning, no,
no,
from
that's
when,
when he wasn't implemented until 4 years ago. So
no,
you
no, no,
didn't think
no, not the implement. No, just basically when they were asking for anybody who has any kind of like information that can help them in this crime, um, come forth. And they saying basically he never came forth to say, okay, I was with them this night and this is what happened, and and they were alive the last time I saw them, or so why didn't he come forward then and said
when
something?
I'm understanding he didn't put two and two together until everything started linking. It's not something that we just sat there and went over every day that this could be them. Back then we didn't have cable or something like that. he heard about the incident at first from me. He was over the road. I was the first person to tell him that. I didn't even say who it was because I didn't know. I was just telling what my mom told me, that 2 girls were found dead in our area.
Your,
And for
your,
me not to travel back and forth.
your
And
thing
so,
is your thing is messing up again. It's scratchy.
am I too close, you think?
I don't know. You were fine in the beginning.
I don't understand. Can you hear me now?
It's still scratchy.
Hmm.
You were fine, and then all of a sudden it started acting up.
What about now? I unplugged it.
I don't know why it's sounding like that.
But can you make out something? Anything? Let's see. Do I need to?
Do you have anything in the background? We fixed it the last time. Is there anything in the background, any kind of open app or anything like that? If you have apps open, it could cause that to be scratchy.
No, it's just this open.
Just that, only that?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why it's sounding scratchy. But they can hear you. They can hear you. It's just that you scratchy a little. But go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead. If it gets too much, then we'll just talk
I'll
about
have
it.
to exit out and then come back in. But
Okay.
like I said, the first time we heard about it, I'm the one who let him know because I was told not to come back and forth to Ozark when he wasn't in town. He said the same thing. I don't want you back and forth if I'm not in town. Him and my mom were in agreement. So we never just thought this could be this situation, Didn't put your head to saying, hey, this is who I met up with, or, So from what I'm understanding, just why would you come forth and say, hey, I probably slept with a girl. I'm a black man. I don't slept with this girl who could possibly be one of the victims, That's my thoughts. I can't speak for what he was thinking. But I mean, the whole thing has been sketchy. And then you go through all these years and you're thinking, well, cops are involved, somebody else is involved, judge's son involved. Why should I implement myself and say, hey, that could have been one of the ones I slept with that night, When you're going up against.
But he knew her as Jennifer, not JB, right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the name that he's always said. That's what she told him it was, Jennifer. So he wasn't thinking, this is who it is. He didn't have a name for the other one at all, So, I mean, you didn't know that's who it was. And like he made the comment to our attorneys, if I had you got to think what you've heard all this time about everybody else being involved in this. Why would I throw myself out there? And I know, it's a possibility one of these high-powered folks had something to do with it. What would that mean for me? So, but he felt like he had nothing to hide. I mean, he was being a man back then, sleeping around, So just like they asked me, why didn't I tell that we went to the that gas station that night? Why didn't I tell what I saw? What did I see? All I saw was a broke down car. I didn't think, just because the car is here don't mean I saw something. I didn't see anything. There was nothing for me to tell. I didn't see anything. So.
And how far was the car from the gas station that they found when they found the car itself? How far was it from the gas station?
I'm not sure. I don't know the mileage. You talking about our car? Our car was actually in the gas station's parking lot by the dumpster.
No, they were saying the last time anybody has spoken with the lady, the 2 young ladies, was I guess a mother and a daughter who was in the store. And I was saying, how far was her car found from where the gas station was? Because supposedly that's where she made the phone call too, at the gas station.
And I'm not sure of the mileage as far as that goes or anything, but it was like a couple of blocks down from the gas station to, I think, Herring Street. I wouldn't say it was walking distance. I wouldn't walk it, but it was closer to the hospital area. But like I said, I wouldn't say it was walking distance.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Okay. what I was gonna do is there is a couple of like videos that I wanted to play for those who are not familiar with this case. I know quite a few people are familiar. Kayla's in here. Kayla, I heard that you have like a Twitter account that gives a lot of information. What is your Twitter handle? So we can go and check some of those things out.
She goes by Macadoodle.
Makadoodle
Yes.
and Twitter.
Yeah. Makadoodle.
Okay, let me just write it down. And one more time.
Makadoodle. And she's been very good at getting information out.
Okay. Okay, let me put the link in. Kayla, did you want to come in for a minute? Here's the link if you want to come in. But I wanted to play something that I, give a little bit background of what was said like a few years ago. Okay, this thing is not working. Why is it not working? Hold on, let me put it in the chat. Hold on a second. Okay, there it is. There you go, the link if you want to come in. Oh, it just worked there. Okay. I wanted to play. And you were saying, I'm sorry, you were saying basically that because that was one of the questions they were asking, and then I heard one of the parents mentioning that when they were doing that press conference, and to me, I don't see this case being a without a doubt, without any reasonable doubt, because it's a lot of doubt in this case, a lot.
Yes.
Hold on a second, someone's trying to come in. Your device is not connecting, whoever that is. Your device is not. Hey, good evening, Leslie. How are you? Oh, they're trying to come in, but their device is not connecting for some strange reason. But as I was saying, some of the things that have been like portrayed and played on here, no one has really believed that your husband actually did this.
That's correct.
There's more people that saying he didn't do it than folks that are saying he did. And the people that are saying he did is based on what's recently happened as far as the trial of the judge not allowing certain things into the case.
Yes.
And I understand that a lot of things we cannot talk about because you guys are getting ready to go into appeal process and also asking for a new trial. So a lot of things we cannot talk. We only can talk about the things that's already out,
Yeah.
So I did get that information. And so we're just going to walk lightly around those type of areas of things like that because you don't want to mess up your case. But
No.
but as far as that question of him, so you're saying he was like constantly traveling out of town, so he was not there throughout the whole time. Is that what you're saying?
Like somebody was trying to beep in. No. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. He was a long haul truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be gone sometimes 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? If he had a load coming through, he could come home like pop up. He could be gone 2 weeks and then he pops up for like a night and then he would leave back out. So he's always had, that in and out time frame with him being a long haul truck driver.
Okay. Shamitris Barnett, do you know this person?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You can unmute Shamitris. I might be saying your name wrong. Please forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm really bad with names, so please forgive me. Don't chop my head off. But welcome. There go Kayla.
Hi.
Kayla. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming up. And I heard you got a lot of information, so I'm going to be looking at your Twitter. But I just wanted your input on this tonight and get your take on everything that's happening and what's, you know.
I stand strong behind both McCraneys. I think Mr. McCraney is definitely being framed by the police department, by the judiciary system.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of evidence that is simply just public that you could read, and I don't have any degrees or anything like that, but I definitely it's just common sense sitting there reading it. It's like
Mhm.
if I'm thinking it, there's no way that other people aren't sitting there reading the same thing, questioning like how, on what basis, what evidence. There's no blood, no skin, no hair, simply just semen. And you can have sex with anybody. That's not a crime.
Mhm.
Cheating isn't a crime.
Mhm.
Um, Walking to your house isn't a crime.
Mhm.
I just, where's the proof? Where's the evidence?
Yeah, yeah. And because I've been doing a lot of research on this. At one point they said there was a handprint on the car. So why didn't they take the fingerprints off the car to get evidence on that?
The handprints actually belong to an officer.
Mm-hmm.
They say the officer fell up against the car or something like that.
That's what they
So,
said?
yes, ma'am.
Oh,
So I think that's weird solely for the fact that, and I'm not accusing anybody, but the handprint is identified as Officer Bryant Mixon's. That is his handprint. I find it odd that there are just like few fingerprints in the trunk that are solely just his, because it is protocol when you're in a traffic stop for an officer to touch the back of your car. There's no report of Bryant Mixon being on scene, if I'm correct, until later in the afternoon after the girls were already found. So I don't. There's also no report of the girls being pulled over in a traffic stop, but that's protocol.
but the license was but you did say
Hmm.
yesterday that the officers took her license out of her bag, but then when they took pictures, they saw the pictures of the license being on the dashboard.
Right, and the driver's side windows down too.
Yes.
Like somebody stopped them to like a traffic, you know,
Mm.
somebody turn on the light. I mean, police officer would turn on the light and they roll down the window to give the license to the officer. That's what it would seem like, right?
Yes,
Which
ma'am.
will also coincide with what the newspaper guy is claiming,
Mhm.
with him claiming that he's seen an OPD car there, as well as seeing an undercover car there. So it would
Which is
show that,
was that the delivery, the newspaper delivery guy? Okay.
yes, Dan Driver.
Okay. So whatever happened to his testimony? Because because I saw I went and post the report when you gave a testimony, Jeanette, when
Hmm.
back in 20 I think it was 2022, I think. Let me just pull it up. I think that's what I pulled up. Because I was pulling up a lot of documents, y'all. I was just trying to educate myself on it. And it was the transcript of your testimony, I think.
Hmm.
And it
Yes.
was that other lady, the one that they said got beat up.
Yeah. And also that day, Michaela's dad testified that day as well, and Dan Driver. We all testified that same day back in 2022.
It was August, right? Something like that. Hold on, I gotta go check.
I believe so.
Yeah, I want to say it was like August 15th. I think that was right around the time I had like heard about it.
Yeah.
And so where is Marina now? Is she still fighting and not trying to come out, or what's going on with her?
Well, as of last week, she was saying again that, it's an innocent guy, and she's telling her story again, you know, that he didn't do it. that she knows who did it. She's just scared. She's scared to come forth. So, because she showed up to the little rally that they had out there at the courthouse, and she showed up then, and she was trying to speak to the Dotchi then that day. So, like I said, she's
I'm trying, because I saw a couple of people out there. I'm trying to figure out which one was she.
Yeah,
I find that so odd.
I don't think they. I'm sorry, not to cut you.
No,
I don't think they showed her face. They kind of showed like from her waist down.
Okay.
She had on like some gray joggers or something and some Crocs or something. They never did show her face, but she did say that she was, Rena, and she believes she's guilty, and they put dead rats in her mailbox, and she just went on to say how they were threatening her and XYZ. So yeah, they didn't really ever just show her full face.
Okay. Because I thought I saw somebody that I thought I heard the name and stuff like that. Okay. But it wasn't that. It was like a couple of people. It wasn't a lot of people out there.
A lot of them, like, they would switch like in shifts the way they were doing it. Like, some people would come in the courthouse, some people, go to work. So they were just trying to come through and just show their support. And where they were standing is where Coley could look out the window and look down at them. So I had told them exactly where he would be at, and they knew where to come and like flash their signs or whatever like that, so he could, see the support that he's getting and hear what they were saying, because we had it planned for him, in there on one of the phones, so that way, he would know what was going on as well.
Okay. I was watching a video just recently, and I saw a posting. Is that one of the jurors that the attorney is talking about?
Where it now?
Okay, let me just bring it up. One of the videos I was watching today, and I happened to see someone who said at first they thought that he was innocent, but then at the end they felt he was guilty. And I was trying to figure out, is that one of the jurors that the attorney is talking about that was posting in social media?
I don't think they've spoken with any jury members right now. None of the jury members are talking right now.
No, but the attorney was saying that one of the jurors was not supposed to be on social media, and they were posting on social media.
That's correct.
Okay, so, and I happened to see something, to me, it seemed like a juror, because it was one thing in the beginning, at the end, it seemed like they just like switched up and say, okay, he was guilty.
So I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? Okay, let me see. Let me put it up and put it in the link so people can look at it, because I've been digging and digging and digging.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys, and speak while I go look at this, get it up and put it up in the chat.
Okay.
I just want to say I find it odd that Raina Crum keeps switching back and forth, for the simple fact that she has enormous amounts of protection that has been offered to her and her family. If you so badly want to come forward, I don't understand not doing so with the insane amount of protection that she would be offered and has been offered.
That's correct. So she's had the opportunity to come forth. So have others, but they chose not to.
Why do you think they choose not to?
It's like they'll tell their story and then they just back up, And some people, you hear a lot of people saying around here, they're scared. They're scared of what's going to happen to them because, at one time it was rumored, anytime somebody spoke out against this case, something happened to their family or something happened to them. So it's always those scare tactics, and people are always warning you not to talk. But to me, it's best to talk so people will know what's really going on.
Yeah. Okay. This person here, let me go show it on my my chat. Hold on a second. Okay. Can you guys see this? It says, well, Nene King. See right here? It says, know what? I was pretty much convinced that he didn't do it. Y'all know how people talk, and you're listening to this reason why. To me, it just made sense, him being not guilty. Well, let me tell you something. After reading the daily proceeding, my mind started to question quite a few things. As the trial progressed, I learned of more things that I didn't know happened. Before the trial ended, I firmly believed that he was guilty. Sometimes we have to wait until all the evidence is given. Speaking for myself first, even though I never got on social media, you see why this is the thing that really got me.
Mhm.
Even though I never got on social media about my thoughts on this, actually, I haven't seen on there in years. I'm asking the families of both of these young ladies to for forgiveness. I also pray for his family only because I'm sure some, if not most, of them didn't know much until the trial. That's why I said that is
She's
this
not one of the
story?
listed. No, she's not. No. I
Oh,
have the list and I can't give out the names, but she's
oh,
not
no,
even a
no, no.
judge.
Okay, but do you know who she is?
Just somebody speaking.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. Her name isn't on the list at all.
okay.
And I'm trying to figure out what is she seeing that everybody in the courtroom didn't see. There was no evidence towards him other than his DNA. But yeah, I just looked at the list. She's not on the list at all.
Okay. What about the that person, Mr. Because I me and my work, I've contacted this guy, which I saw a document he submitted to the courts,
Mhm.
and I reached out to him today, and I was gonna have a conversation. He's with some magazine or news person. He does investigation, and he put in that there was supposed to be some sort of drug case that was going on, and the young ladies were supposed to be testifying. Do you know anything about that?
That's one of the rumors that has been told. That it was something about some tapes or something that the young ladies might have had. But
Mhm.
like I said, that's just rumors that I don't know if it is factual or not. It's just one of the stories we've all heard. That it was some tapes that the girls knew about that would uncover some dirty dealings, pretty much. And some people are saying they were killed over that. It's so many rumors.
But he put so many documents to the court, and I was
Yeah,
like, how did he get all of this?
yeah. It's a
Because
lot of stuff out there that makes you question. Could it be so? You know,
Michael Williams came out with his statement a while ago, and I know Mr. Beasley he was pretty
Adam.
yeah, definitely about his statement.
And then Mr. Beasley's statement matched the paperwork that the guy showed.
Yes, yes. And his story hasn't changed.
Mhm.
Um, I can only speak on the 4 years because that's when it came. It's been for them 20 something years, but for us, it's new for 4. So over the 4 years, his story has not changed about
Beasley.
who did this or, what I'm saying, or what they were wrapped up in. His story has not changed at all. My heart goes out to him because, I mean, he hired his own investigator to do stuff, you know? So it's kind of scary. So if
Yeah.
some drug dealings and somebody out there killing over drug dealings, that makes it even scarier,
But
you
they
know?
also said some trafficking too.
Yeah. Yep. All that was brought up. I think at one of our motion hearings or something like that we had, um, some of the people that testified that they spoke on stuff like that it was cops that were doing things more than just policing, pretty much. So they're thinking
And
that they
then,
got wrapped up in that.
but I was trying to figure out, for them to be so young, how did they know so much of that stuff? You know,
Not sure. Because, like I said, you don't know what's rumors and what's not anymore, But at the
yeah.
same time, I've had a 17-year-old. We've had a couple of them. I can't put past what they won't do, you know?
And then
So
see, the thing
it's
that
fine.
had me convinced is him having those documents in the court. So that's the thing that was like, and then he had case number with the
Mhm.
federal case numbers and things like that. So I was like, okay, is this real?
Yeah,
Kind of crazy.
yeah. And see,
One of their fathers was a police. Yeah, the stepfather, he passed away. That was Tracy's stepfather. That was no, I mean, real father was a police officer, right?
as far as I know, yes.
Yeah, and he ended up dying. He died. I mean, I'm
Yes,
telling you, I've been doing my homework on this.
yeah. So I mean, it's
Yeah, he
kind of,
drowned. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Sarah.
if you sit back and just think about it, it's some scary stuff going on with all of this, you know. So it's kind of weird how you can bypass all these speculations and rumors and say somebody's semen, he had to do it, but he have nothing to do with the so-called drug deals or so-called tapes or, you know, any of that. But you try to ignore all that. Anybody that was implemented other than Coley at trial, they objected to it. You couldn't even speak on the fact that an officer had something to do with it. The judge kicked that out. You couldn't say anything pertaining to anybody else did it other than Coley. He didn't want to hear it.
What are the legalities as far as like, so like you're going to court, right? You have to have a defense other than you did it. Like, if I'm trying to figure out how to word this. So you're going to court, you obviously have to have your argument as far as how you did not do this. So what are the legalities as far as a judge determining what you can and cannot use as a defense? Like, how does that?
It doesn't make sense.
And also, how is it for the judge to depend, you know, to determine whose credibility is real? Shouldn't that have been for the jury? The jury should have been able to hear everybody's side instead of him knocking it out. You know, I feel like the jury missed out on so much because they should have been able to hear people's testimonies that the judge didn't want to allow in.
But what I'm going to play this for those who are not familiar with the case. This gives a little bit background, so I don't know how helpful.
A final phone call,
Hold on.
a mysterious disappearance, and a double murder. This is the story of J.B. Beasley and Tracy Hollett. Early on the morning of August 1st, 1999, Ozark police discovered an abandoned car. Outwardly, nothing appeared suspicious. 6 hours later, while waiting for a tow truck to arrive, someone finally opened the trunk and made a horrific discovery. The bodies of two young women had been stuffed inside, each with a single gunshot to the back of the head. Now, after 2 decades, could their killer finally face justice? J.B. Beasley was born to parents Cheryl and Lanier Beasley on July 31st, 1982. She grew up at Dothan, Alabama, and Cheryl described her daughter as somewhat of a wild child. J.B. was into everything from a young age. She was swimming at 9 months old, playing piano at 5, and spent a good 2 years learning to dance. J.B. and her sisters also modeled for department stores like Gaffer's and McRae's. Her early school years were vastly different from her later teens. J.B. had behavioral issues, so much so that Cheryl had her seeing a child psychologist to try and work through the issues J.B. was having. Slowly a shift started, and from the 6th grade onwards, J.B. began getting her life under control. But she was always spunky. It was something Cheryl loved about her daughter. Not much is known about Tracy Hollett's childhood. She had recently joined Northview High School in 1999, going into her senior year alongside J.B. Even though the girls hadn't known each other for years, they became fast best friends. Cheryl didn't know Tracy well, but described the dynamic between the girls as J.B. being the leader and Tracy being the follower. On the evening of July 31st, 1999, J.B. and Tracy got into J.B.'s 1993 black Mazda 929, setting off to Headland. It was J.B.'s 17th birthday, and the girls had plans to attend a party at their friend Jana's place. Headland is just 10 miles from Dothan, so the drive shouldn't have taken JB long. They left Tracy's home at around 10 p.m. 30 minutes later, JB and Tracy were spotted in the Mazda in Headland. After trying to find Jana's home, the girls realized they were lost and stopped at a local gas station to call and find clearer directions. It was starting to get late, and with Tracy's 11:30 p.m. curfew, they were running out of time to spend at the party. Another hour went by that JB and Tracy were still not at Jana's party. Instead, they were now in Ozark, which was 20 miles away from home. Not wanting to get any more confused, they stopped at a big little convenience store, but it was unfortunately closed. Thankfully, they bumped into Marilyn Merritt, who had also pulled in to get her and her daughter a drink. Marilyn explained to the girls how to get back onto Highway 231 and home to Dothan. Despite what could have been a stressful situation, both girls didn't seem very concerned. Before they left, Tracy placed a quick call to her mother, Carol Roberts, and told her what was going on. They were lost and in Ozark, but they were on their way home and would be back soon. The drive home should have taken JB and Tracy anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes. Midnight came and went. No sign of them. 1 a.m. came and went. Still no sign of them. At 5 a.m., Carol woke up and realized Tracy was not back. She had fallen asleep the previous night after speaking to Tracy, and she was exhausted from her work as a nurse. Immediately, she knew something was wrong. Her daughter was a responsible girl who was never late, and when they last spoke, Tracy was on her way home. At 8 a.m. on August 1st, Carol called the Dothan Police Department. Officers started patrolling straight away, looking for any sign of the Mazda in case there had been some sort of accident. But what these officers didn't know at the time was that Ozark police had already located the car. JB's Mazda was parked on Herring Avenue, just 1 mile from where Tracy had spoken to her mom on the payphone. Nothing seemed obviously wrong with the car. There wasn't any sign of a mess inside or any broken windows. That being said, it had an empty tank and muddy sides. JB's license was on the dashboard, and both girls' purses were still inside the car. It was as if they had just gotten up and left. The detective on scene had a weird feeling. He didn't understand why the girls would have stopped here and the car keys were nowhere to be found. Why would they take the keys but leave their purses? He dialed Ozark's chief of detectives, Lieutenant Rex Tipton, and continued to tell him, "I don't know why I'm bothering you, but something about this feels funny." Little did anyone know at the time just how right that feeling was. Tipton told the sergeant to wait with the vehicle. He ran the plates and placed a call through to Dothan, where he was told that the girls were currently missing. Now both Ozark police and Dothan police were looking for JB and Tracy. Several hours had passed, but still nothing. At around midday, a Dothan investigator arrived to JB's Mazda. While they waited for the tow truck, the Dothan investigator started looking around. This is when he realized the trunk could be propped open with a lever inside the car and didn't need the keys. When the investigator opened the trunk, he was horrified with what he saw. Inside that trunk lay the bodies of JB Beasley and Tracy Hollett. Tracy and JB were still clothed, but both were extremely muddy. Tracy had a single gunshot wound to the temple. JB had a single gunshot wound to the cheek. Both girls had been shot execution style before being loaded into their own car. It was found that the killer left a clear palm print on the trunk's lid. Autopsies confirmed that neither girls had any drugs or alcohol in their systems. Police now had to answer the most pressing questions on everyone's minds. Who had done this and why? While information surrounding the possibility of sexual assault, the topic was kept fairly quiet by investigators. It was later confirmed that semen was found on JB's underwear and skin. One of the first things that police ruled out was a robbery gone wrong. The girls' purses with their money and credit cards were all left behind, along with the jewelry on their bodies. A few weeks after the murder, police would have their first real suspect. 28-year-old Johnny Barentine had left his home at roughly 11:30 p.m., right around the time Tracy called her mom from the payphone. Johnny told his wife he was going out to buy milk for their young son, but ended up being out for far longer than expected. At 1 a.m., he arrived home and appeared visibly shaken up by something. When Johnny's wife asked him what on earth had happened, he told her that his car had been hit by a black truck with Dothan tags while driving along Herring Avenue. In the coming days, the girl's murder became more widely known, and a reward was offered for useful information. After this, Johnny mentioned to his friends that he knew something about the murder. His friends encouraged him to go speak to police, and 1 month after JB and Tracy were killed, he did just that. On September 1st, Johnny walked into the Ozark PD and was subsequently interviewed for 4 hours. During the interview, Johnny's story changed multiple times. It went from seeing a black truck speeding away from Herring Avenue to a wildly different story. Johnny told the investigators that he picked up a heavily tattooed man who was hitchhiking and drove him to the Big Little store. He then saw the man get into the vehicle with 2 girls. The man allegedly told Johnny to follow them, which he did. When the girls' Mazda ended up on Herring Avenue, a confrontation broke out. Johnny didn't claim to have seen the murder, but did tell police he heard 2 gunshots go off before he drove home. During the interrogation, this tattooed man then morphed into being a neighbor who lived a mile away from Herring Avenue. Interrogators had heard enough. Johnny Barentine was arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He quickly took back his confession and told police he had made the whole story up to get the reward money. Johnny tried to bond out, and when his DNA didn't match what was found on the scene, a judge approved this request. When the case and the evidence was put to a grand jury in January 2000, there was no indictment, and Johnny Barentine was off the hook. So, if it wasn't Johnny, who was it? Police looked into 2 other men, one from Michigan who had an unclear alibi for around the time the girls had been murdered and was near the crime scene, and another Mississippi man who was visiting relatives and left swiftly after August 1st. Both men had their DNA tested, and neither were a positive match. But there was still someone else the police wanted to talk to. The Big Little store's surveillance camera had captured a small white pickup truck in the parking lot while the girls were also there. Police made this information and image publicly available in the hope someone would come forward with information. The truck driver was never identified. Early on in the investigation, police told the public that they did not believe the girls were shot in the vehicle. Therefore, they wanted to try and find the actual site of the murder and the place that the girls likely got so dirty. It took 8 months before they got a lead in that regard. In March 2000, a woman who lived in Ozark told authorities she had heard screams and 2 gunshots on the night of the murders. An obvious follow-up question from police was why the woman didn't report this sooner. She told them she didn't want to get involved. The woman showed investigators an area surrounded by trees beside a vacant house. The FBI was called onto the scene, and the area was thoroughly combed over. A 9mm shell casing was found, a bullet that matched the bullet found in JB's trunk. It seemed this may have been the very spot that the girls were murdered. Despite this breakthrough, the case went quiet. There were no new suspects, no new leads, and no new found pieces of evidence, and it remained that way for 20 long years. Surprisingly, the bizarre nature of the case saw conspiracy theories popping up that put the blame on an Ozark police officer, claiming the police department must have covered the murder up. These claims were never substantiated. In 2019, the case received some much-needed vigor when the Ozark PD reopened it in the hope of solving the murder using a new approach. DNA phenotyping was becoming more popular and could potentially point detectives toward their prime suspect by identifying relatives of the murderer. The 20-year anniversary of the murder hung over these investigators' heads, and they were desperate to finally bring the responsible man to justice. The original DNA evidence was submitted to Parabon Labs for testing, and this effort turned out to be very much worth it. This testing led to an arrest. Dothan man 45-year-old Coley McCraney was arrested and charged with 5 counts of capital murder and 1 count of first-degree rape. The news of this arrest shocked those who knew McCraney. Back in 1999, McCraney was 25 years old, divorced, and involved in a paternity lawsuit involving one of his children. Despite being ordered to provide a DNA test by the judge, McCraney never complied. McCraney was being accused of the most heinous crime, yet he had no prior criminal history. He remarried in 2001 and went on with his life, working as a trucker. McCraney maintains his innocence and has pleaded not guilty, despite DNA linking him to the crime scene. The trial was initially set for September 2020, but the pandemic massively blocked up the court system. Unfortunately, Dale County Circuit Court Judge William H. Fillmore had to delay the trial yet again in August of 2022, after too few jurors showed up for selection. Out of a necessary 250, only 75 arrived. You would think that 75 people were enough to select a jury from, but due to the publicity of the murder, the number of suitable jurors whittled down very quickly. If you're interested in following the case, McCraney's trial has recently been set to begin on April 17th, 2023.
Okay. So that's one little site that is True Crime Espresso. That is the name. I just put the link in there for anybody else wanting to watch that. But I know there's so many people that have different stories, different things that's out, and I just happened to listen to that one. So how close is that one, guys? Y'all know more than I do. So how close is this one?
As far as the conspiracies and the rumors, it's right on. That's some of the rumors you've heard this whole time. You know, pretty much Barentine knew a whole lot, but you know he's passed on. So, all he had to say was, "I made up a story for the reward money," and he was kicked out because his DNA didn't match. That's all they cared about. His DNA didn't match. They didn't care that he stated that he picked somebody else up and pretty much went there, saw the girls. They didn't care about all that because his DNA didn't match. So the rumors.
Did he actually see them, or he just lied?
See, I don't know. He's saying he lied, but at the same time, that's a pretty good storyline you had, you know. But they said he was mentally challenged too as well. So you don't know how well that went down in there. He just wanted the reward money, but it's kind of far-fetched to do. Just some reward money to put yourself in the middle of a crime.
It seems like Leslie knows a lot too. Do you know who Leslie is? Leslie?
I don't.
She's been putting a lot of information out in here. Hey, Bev.
Oh, okay.
You know who she is?
I've recently hooked up with her on Facebook. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Leslie, do you want to come up? I'm gonna put the link in there. Oh, no, that's not the link. Hold on a second. There's the link, Leslie. This whole thing has my mind bottled. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah. And see, the thing is, like when people talk about the rumors, that's not on us. None of this has come from, I guess we're considered the defense side. Those were all before Coley's arrest, you know?
so all these people have this information prior to Coley even being named.
Yes. Oh yes. All this stuff is like way before his arrest. This is stuff you've heard over the years.
I do want to say, like, the whole truck rumor about seeing the white truck and the black truck and 2 white men following the girls around all night.
Mhm.
There are actual, like, witness statements that were signed by, I don't know who because it's blanked out, but they were signed by people that seen the girls that night, that seen the trucks. And I think even the clerk testified that she seen that white truck at the Big and Little right before she had left. I just think, like, there are rumors, of course, but then there are some things that can truly be backed up by witness statements that are far, like you said, far before Mr. McCraney was ever arrested.
And the 2 ladies that saw the girls at the store, one thing that kind of sticks out is that they said that the girls had on bell-bottom pants and platform shoes. They had on jeans and New Balances. It was completely like a different wardrobe from what they saw. And, you know, those were the two ladies that claimed they were hypnotized and all that. But you saw bell-bottom pants and platforms. So that just has always stuck with me as well, that something just don't sit well with that, you know.
Hey, Leslie, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. I was seeing the messages that you was putting in here, and I was like, she knows some stuff too.
I do. Of course, the crime scene happened when I was 9 years old. My brother was in high school at the time. He did not join the police force until 5 years later after the crime. But the young man that was mentioned, Neil, in Michigan, was one of the guys that would come over to hang out with my brother when he would have these parties in high school. We lived up from the cold storage, literally 2 streets over from Herring Street. So as a kid, I remember Neil. I could tell you exactly the kind of stuff he would wear. Like, he was into like the blue jeans with the polo shirts. He always had the neck up. He always had a cap on backwards. I always got bad vibes from him. As a kid, but then of course I remember around that time of the crime happening, his car, I think he drove a Volkswagen, and it caught fire. And then he had disappeared and we never heard from him again. But I just think it was odd that his car caught fire. And he's like, yeah, I just sat there and watched it burn. Like, that's suspicious, you know. But I've been here my whole life. Like I said, I have a family member on the police force, my brother. And you know things. And even my brother said the same thing, that because my brother had to go speak with OPD around after this crime happened, and he knew nothing, but Neil was a part of who he associated with. And there was a lot that came out in subsequent years, and a lot of us, we didn't speak out. Of course, I was 9 at the time. You know, who's going to listen to a kid? And as a kid, you're not thinking about this kind of stuff. You know, you don't think anything of it. But as I've gotten older, you know, you realize a lot more and you see what's covered up. And I hate to say it, but well, I don't hate to say it, but you can see a lot of the hierarchies and the higher ups and their families are covering this up. And they're trying to get people to believe whatever they want them to believe. You can pay people off if the money's right. You know, you can scare them. You know, it's a small town. It's not hard to do. And this may come back to bite me, but Judge Fillmore, he could very well be one of them. Matter of fact, Judge Fillmore right now is running for Civil Court of Appeals to be elected next March. And that's why I've been advocating for him to not be elected for that, you know. Judge Fillmore is one of the bigger ups that's been around here for years, along with some of the other names. There are a lot of higher ups that are officials, business people, you know, they have ties to all of this. And of course, they're all going to be on the same page and they're going to try to cover their trails, but it's coming out now. They're losing the momentum. They can't keep this hidden forever. It's, you know, technology has advanced. Too much is coming out and people are starting to get their voice. And if we can keep pushing this as Miss Jeanette is doing, some of us good old lower town people, you know, lower class, it's time we stand up together and speak up and say enough is enough. We're not scared of you. We're done. We're scared. We want a town that we feel safe in. You're supposed to protect and serve your citizens. That's not how we feel.
I mean, they're doing stuff as far as like Miss Mary, I think it was Campbell. She was even, like she said, she was the clerk that night. However, she was sent a picture of my husband so she could say he was at the store that night. She didn't see him, but the investigator went as far as sending her a picture of him to try and force her to say that she saw him that night. So that's the kind of stuff that's going on here that people don't know about, you know, or it's easily objected in Judge Fillmore's courtroom. You know, to me, that's important. If you're having to send a picture to somebody to try and force them to say you saw this guy when you actually didn't see him at all.
I can vouch for this. After I was a part of the protest, not protest, why do I keep wanting to say that word? The peaceful support rally in Ozark.
Mhm.
Not even, I want to say it was 2 days ago. I was backing out of my driveway. I live over here by the Fort Rucker gate. And I backed out, nothing was coming. And I'm starting to head up the street. And all of a sudden, a police SUV comes flying over the hill. And he stayed on me the whole time. Like he was trying to find a reason he could pull me over.
Oh.
And I never gave him that opportunity to do so. Once he realized I wasn't going to give him a reason to pull me over, he flew past me. It was like a scare tactic,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm pretty sure I know who the police officer is because I looked in my rear view and it looks exactly like who I would expect it to be, but I'm not backing down. I refuse. I don't care. You
Yeah.
know, I'm over it. This is a small town. We should all be able to live in peace. And it is time that these officials and higher business people that think they're above the law, they need to be handled accordingly. And I'm sorry, but the ABI is not going to do anything. This is where the FBI, CIA, this national agencies need to be coming in. ABI is going to do nothing.
Have you guys done
That's right.
any kind of petitions and anything like that to try to get the awareness? And because you're going to have outsiders to come in to really do an investigation of what's going on.
Well, considering this has just kicked off last week, I've
Mhm.
reached out to numerous people just trying to wait for feedback, because when you don't know where to start, because I'm new to this, you know,
Mhm.
I need the help. I don't know who to reach out to. Or it's kind of hard. I'm just going to be honest. When you're looking for help in the African American variety, it's like you have to go down a whole list. It's not just a 334 area code number. You know, you got to go through the 800 numbers, then you got to reach like 5 different people before you find out who's actually in charge. So it's kind of hard to get stuff out there. So we're going to do this rally this weekend. And like I said, I don't care if it's big or small, either way, it's getting people to know that we're not going to stop and we need the help, you know, to bring light to what's going on.
Mhm.
It's time though, if we can get this to a national level though, because, you know, you want the FBI and the higher agencies like, you know, nationally to take a hold of this. But when you're in a small town, it is a lot harder to get authority presence outside of city and state. And it has already been proven that Ozark and the state go hand in hand with a lot of shady information and dealings. So as a small town, it's time we get our presence known, and hopefully with national picking up on this, the FBI will see this and more can hopefully be done.
Mhm. Have you contacted the governor? Have you reached out, wrote to the governor of Alabama?
That's a waste.
You said it's a
It's,
waste?
That's a waste.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because the
Alabama,
attorney general is actually running for governor. That's the one who just presided over my husband's case.
The
So he,
prosecutor is running for governor?
yes, the attorney general that just took my husband to court or whatever, he's the
Oh.
one running for governor. So he's
It's rumored that he
actually,
wanted this to be his last case before he moved on. That was the rumor that I heard.
Wow.
the
Okay.
reason this is, guys, I'm going to say this now.
Okay.
They're trying to get these power positions. Fillmore going for civil appeals. The attorney general going for the governor. If these people get into power, nothing is ever going to be done. Nothing's going to happen. So right now, this is where we need to advocate for voting more than ever. And we need to make sure that these higher ups that think they're above the law, they do not need to be in position of powers because they are abusing powers already. So they do not need to get these positions. And this is where I'm advocating now that everybody go vote. Vote for anybody but them. I don't care if you vote for Mickey Mouse. Anybody but them.
I'm curious, what would it be like, or what would the criteria be for this case to be moved to federal court?
As far as criteria for it to be heard?
Yeah, I guess under what circumstances can you have a federal case? So could this be moved to federal court so everything could be heard and there is no Judge Fillmore objecting and biased and
But have y'all asked for it to be removed from that venue for to be in another venue?
Well, with us going up on new trial, asking for a new trial, well, I don't want to really say too much right now.
Yeah, you can't say. I understand.
Yeah.
You have to take steps, and you don't just get to magically take a case to the Supreme Court, and you have to, sadly, like chain of command, you have to go up the ladder to get
It has to
to.
be denied in the local first, then it goes to the next stage, and then the next one. Supreme Court.
And if Fillmore and the likes of Fillmore and the Attorney General get these positions in state, it's never going to happen because they're not signing off on anything. So now's the time that we make sure that they don't get the vote. Because if they get those positions of power, then Alabama's going to continue to be set in older ideology.
That's correct.
Sarah said there's a civil right violation. That's how you can get into the federal part. Sarah, you want to come up? Because I see you putting some good stuff in here as well.
I'm writing all this down.
That would be a great route with everything that's going on now, and with the advancement of such movements and technology. That would be an awesome way to get the case heard more. And
no, go ahead.
But with the way the hierarchy is set up now, it's got to stop. We've got to keep these old money personnel out of offices, or things are going to stay the same. And more stuff is going to be covered up. More innocent people are going to go to jail.
Yeah. Ash Crazy says, was this case ever asked to be moved away from that?
Well, the reason why we did not, when it was brought to me and my husband's attention, about moving it away or whatever, we thought, everybody knows about this case. Not once did we think that he would have got convicted in an area where for a fact, if we wouldn't have moved it away, nobody would have knew about what was going on with this case. But we thought having it here, having it there or whatever, everybody knows about this case. For a fact, this man didn't do it. So we were convinced that,
but
they didn't convict him.
But normally you would go with a case where people don't know what's going on, because people have already biases, and they might tell you one thing, but they have biases if they know about the case already.
And see, we know that now. We had to, But like I said, that was our reasoning for keeping it there. We're thinking, everybody knows about this case around here. Whether it's Dothan, Ozark, Troy, all our little side-by towns, we all knew about this case. You all know the stuff behind this case. So not once that we would have thought he would have got convicted of it.
Yes, a couple of officers have died under questionable circumstances, as well as majority of the officers that worked OPD around that time frame have left and gone on to do other things because they know, and
or they were let go, or they were just simply
let go. Good cops that come forward and they're let go, or threatened, or harassed, or their badge is pulled and they're never allowed to be a police officer anymore. I hate to say it, the majority of us know that this is not right, but sadly the higher ups are not speaking on our behalf. They're against us. So it is easy in a small town like this to persuade, bribe, to get any case or anything to go in your favor.
Or to discredit those that know something. It's easy for them to discredit people.
Yes. And they will go through any means necessary. And sadly, some of these younger officers don't realize it, but they're just pawns to do the dirty work of these higher ups, so they don't get their hands dirty.
So even with the chief changing, the chief of police changing is still a problem?
It's It's always gonna it's no matter what chief comes in, it's always gonna be the same as long as you have the same higher ups officials like judges and lawyers and old money still in this town.
I
The
got you.
same old money that was a part of this town 20, 30, 40 years ago is the same old money that's here today.
I got you now. I understand exactly.
And it's, unless we bring them down, it's not going to change.
Leslie, Sarah has a question.
Sure.
Question for you.
I worked for Doug Goldage. Do you remember him, Leslie? I think I do. I think I went to school with some of his children. If it's the same Goldage family we're speaking of. I think Destiny Goldage was one of the ones I went to school with. That name does ring a bell, though. I'm trying to think. I remember quite a few of, as far as OPD, I remember quite a few of the police officers that were around that time. And as a kid, you don't think about the corruption until you get older and you look back, and which as a kid, what can you do? You know?
So
Chad
Chad.
Goldage. Yes, I remember Chad Goldage. Yes. That name rings a bell.
Okay. Do y'all know why Marlos Walker was fired from being a police chief?
Him and Officer Glenn were under investigation for sexual I'm gonna make sure I get this right. I think it was to do with like some kind of sexual assault or something along that nature. But him, not Glenn, Officer Marlos Walker and Tim skinny gray-haired guy, short hair. Tim, we used to live behind Walmart with him, across the way from him. But him and Marlos were both let go. And it was apparently due to some kind of misconduct. And
Tim Cook. Someone says Tim Cook.
Was it Cook? Was his last name Cook? That name does not sound like it could be Cook, but I know his first name was Tim. But I can't for the life of me remember his last name. Mom brain, I'm sorry, you guys.
I'll pull it up because I thought I saw it because they was having a hearing.
Yes, they did. They had a hearing, and then they ended up doing it behind closed doors, and they just let them go.
Yeah, and he told he had to resign or something like that instead of.
Yes, they.
But they had already voted him for him to go.
Yes, but they decided overnight it was done behind closed doors because it was a shock to all of us when we found out like the next day. That's how fast it happened.
Okay.
And that was under Bobby.
Tim Hicks?
Mark Blank. Tim Hicks. Yes, Hicks. Yes.
Yeah.
It was Mark Blankenship was the one that headed that. I don't know his relation to Bobby Blankenship. I'm not for sure, but Mark Blankenship was the one that headed that closed hearing to let them go. So just think about it, you guys. Look at who your council members are. Look at who your mayor is. Look who holds these positions. Look who gets elected for these positions each year. How many of them do you know personally? Like you hang out with them, or not that you see them in the grocery store and go, hey, but you really know them. Like you hang out with them, you're close with them. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
So that's how this town is. Unless you know somebody or you have the power or the influence, you're not going to be a part of changing this town unless we have to find our other means to step forward and to shut this down.
So how is the atmosphere? Is it tension in that area now?
I would say so. I would honestly, there is tension because those of us who are speaking out and standing up, I can vouch for this, going places now. The people who would smile at me or, quick wave, it's quickly walking past,
Wow.
because
Wow.
either they don't want to be associated with anyone that speaks up or they're too scared
So are
to be
you
affiliated.
are you afraid something's gonna happen?
No, ma'am, I am not afraid of anything. My husband is an Army veteran, and we are very well protected over here. We have great security as far, I'm thankful that he is an information management officer. Technology is his thing. So inside and outside, we are set. We can catch anything, and I keep all of my lights on outside. I have motion sensor lights out back, and I'm ready. And he might have PTSD from the war, but I've got my own set of crazy. So we're ready over here. I'm not afraid of anything. The only person I fear is the good man above.
Amen.
Same. Yes, same.
My mama always knew I was different from the rest of my siblings. I was always the wild child. I always spoke up. I was that person, and I'm going to be that person. And once I get to talking, you're not going to get me to shut up.
That's good.
I'm going to sing it all the way to the end.
That's it.
And for those that are opposed to this, who don't agree, I mean, time is coming. You can only hold on to the truth for so long, and
That's right.
it's coming out.
Oh yeah, because I'm not stopping. I'm singing.
But we still got to get this stuff out. Okay, Sarah says, let's see what she says. Mac Taco, they planted pills on two of my friends they were 17 and made them have sex. Oh, to have it to disappear. Wow.
That's the kind of stuff they do. Yes. This is a corrupted town. My brother was made an example out of with something that happened when I was younger in regards to my oldest son now, and the protocol was not set in place. I'm going to tell the story. I don't care. I was 17. I was 18 at the time. I had my son when I was 17, living with my parents, and I had postpartum depression. So I was put on a new medicine, and I went to sleep, and somehow magically my son got out the door and was found up the road where we live. The neighbors found him, and my brother happened to be working that night. He did let his supervisor know, but he didn't know what the protocol was. And there was no protocol at the time. They didn't set a protocol in place for children that get out of the house until after that incident. But my brother was made an example of, and he was demoted because of it. And if you go against them in any way, they're going to make an example out of you. Like I said, these lower police officers, some of them don't realize it. They're new here, but they're pawns. And if you don't join in and you don't do what they say, they're going to make an example out of you. That's how this town is. It's still set in old ways. Why do you think they're not open to this city being open up to change and having so-called bigger businesses and new perspectives and outlooks? Because the older money cannot afford. They don't want their power taken away. And as long as they have the money and influence, things are not going to change unless more people step up. So for those that do have information, please don't be scared. Come forward. I will house you at my place with all the security to keep you safe. I will be your personal bodyguard if you will come forward.
Yep.
And tell your truth.
It's time now.
I'll keep you safe myself, okay? Because my crazy's not set up right. So I'll keep you safe myself. But it's time to come forward. It's time to not be scared.
Yeah, there's a good few people that are willing to offer protection for people who want to speak out. A lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few who will. I will protect you at all costs necessary. I've got the space, the setup. I'd house you just to keep you safe. I'd be your bodyguard because I don't back down from a fight.
Yeah.
I grew up on the other side of town. Hillcrest was my stomping ground, so I fight for
Well,
what's
I
right.
appreciate that. I appreciate you telling that.
So please, guys, come forward, and please, now more than ever, when you go vote, please, anybody but them. I'll get a list together of I have some of the prominents, and I'll look at who's running for what. And if I need to make a list of saying don't go vote for them, I will. Just so you know who the money people are.
One thing we can't do is let his name die down, because that's what they're already saying. Stop the rumors, which the rumors are coming from our side. So one thing we cannot do is just be stopped just because they want us to. We can't stop. We
No.
gotta just keep, because like I said, we're trying to get a new trial. If that don't work, we're shooting for the appeal. Either way, we need voices, people screaming about this injustice, because it's not right. And right now, they're feeling like they're on top. They feel like they won. They haven't won anything. This is just the beginning.
Nope.
So,
all them people I see that are wanting to speak out, and I see them online. We'll see it at Saturday in Dothan.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's when you just put the pedal to the metal there. We're going to see if anybody shows up. It's time out for being afraid. I mean, I'm his wife, and I'm sitting here and I'm speaking out. I mean, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm not going to be quiet until my husband is home. And then I'm still probably going to speak even louder once he's home.
Exactly.
But it needs to get out, So
there's no need to be afraid.
Home, no.
It's time to. They only do that harassment whenever they feel like the gig's almost up. And if they're harassing now more than ever, it's because they know that gig is almost up and more people are actually speaking up. So if you feel like you're being harassed by the police and they're right behind you, and do what I do. They want to try to get you for speeding and find any reason to set your cruise control on your car, people. That way, when they try to say you're speeding, no. And just use your turn signal. Just make sure you're properly, like we learned when we were 16, taking the driver's test. That way they have no reason. They can't pull you over. And now with police cams, they're not going to get away with as much. And guys, I recommend this technology standpoint. My husband and I both do IT. Get front and rear dash cams that record. They have so many different ones out there. And they can record the front and the back of your car. And that way, if police cams automatically seem to, we don't have the footage from that, I've got it. I got it right here, baby. I bailed you out. But yes, there are ways to, protect yourself and get your protection set in place before you decide to come forward. So that way you're ready. You know what to expect.
So are they going to be looking for the outsiders coming ready for get outsiders?
I've always been an outsider, so nothing new to me.
No, I'm saying you're like people who wants to come for it, because I do need to put the
I hope people who are on the outside of this do come. Surrounding cities, surrounding areas, out of state, please. If you want to drive all the way from Georgia, New York, please come on. Yeah. Show your support. Because once we get this national attention, once more people outside of Alabama are seeing this, then we can shut this down.
That's correct. Because, I mean, if they think they can get away with it with him, it's going to be others.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be others, if it's not already.
This isn't the first. This isn't the last. As long as they can get away with it, they're going to keep doing it. So, guys, I'm going to suggest this first and foremost. Please go vote. Don't let Fillmore or the Attorney General get these positions.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Okay, you got someone said help is coming from New York City.
Yes, come on. I'm down. We can have a block party afterwards. We'll throw some food on the grill, have a good time.
Look, I just got to figure out how long it takes me to get from Georgia down there.
Hey, we'll make it happen. We'll have a good old time and have a block party afterwards.
I live in,
Which part
food
of Georgia
always-
did you say you were in?
I'm in Conyers, Georgia, near Atlanta.
'Cause I'm
I have
thinking
to
probably
stay
no
the
more
metro
about
place.
3.5 hours.
Huh?
I'm thinking no more than about 3.5 hours, but I
3.5
could be wrong.
Okay.
If we throw some food on the grill, y'all coming down?
I'll get there. I'll get there because that's what I do.
Yeah. It's 3.5 hours to be exact.
It's 3.5 hours.
I do.
Chastity said it was 4 hours, but okay.
Depending upon traffic and how fast you're
Um,
going.
Look, I
Yeah,
have to follow the
exactly.
rules
Yes.
because I have
Yes,
to
yes,
follow
yes.
the rules.
She's
But
come
yes,
to
please.
Ozark, so it might take her 5 hours.
5 hours. Oh,
Yeah.
If
Come
you
through Ozark, you might want to take your time.
oh
Just
my
take
God.
your time. Don't be in a rush. But yes, guys, please come out. Miss McCraney has set this up, so please come out to Dothan. For those of you that couldn't make it to Ozark, or you had your thoughts, you were scared to. Now's the time. Please come
Yes.
now. Let's do this. Let's line up Dothan.
Somebody
Yes.
asked where's Ben Crump. Have you guys contacted Ben Crump?
I have, and from what I actually got an email from him today stating that he wants us to start locally first.
Local. Is there a local NAACP?
The ones here are kind of the older crowd, so I've reached out to the one actually in Atlanta, and I'm waiting to hear back. So
Atlanta is the one you reach out to because the president is I may be able to get someone to hold on a second. Let me make a phone call for you for a second. Hold on.
I had called Ben Crump before, like maybe a month before the trial. I had called his office and I didn't know that you had to be convicted before. And so they said to contact back. So that would be really awesome if he could come through and help.
I agree. I mean, the more attention this gains.
The email I got today said, unfortunately, after careful review of the information we provided, our office is unable to take this case right now. So I don't know if they didn't understand that he's been convicted or what. So I'm gonna reach back out because the email is stating like they don't think he's been convicted just yet. So I think it was some confusion on that end. So I'm gonna reach back out to him to let them know he has been convicted of these charges. So,
Also, I wonder if you had like a large amount of people that were sending them the same case on your behalf, if that would maybe.
That definitely would. Definitely.
Yes.
Oh, have you contact Mr. Rashad? And I have his contact information. He does a lot of things where injustice and
Rashad Ritchie, something
yes,
like that.
Rashad Ritchie.
I could not find like a I did like a message to him, but no contact number. I didn't have anything like that.
I got you. I got you. Because I got some connections.
That's what it's all about, you guys. We've got to stick together, and every little bit, even if it doesn't seem like much, every little bit you do can make a difference. Even looking up contacts, just flooding every single contact source you can. Technology has advanced, so much can be researched and so many people can be reached out to, but every little bit helps, whether you realize it or not. But the more people that contribute, the more attention this is going to garner, and you may be able to cover this up locally, but once the national comes in, good luck. Once the outsiders are in.
Okay, I just sent you his email, his personal email, just now.
I personally believe. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying thank you so much. I'll make sure
and
I'll email him as well as I'll give it to the dot chief so that way she can tell our supporters to actually reach out as well.
Yeah, reach out to him. He will definitely put some awareness in it, especially he has a huge platform. So
yes, I must certainly do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you find out the NAACP person in your area.
Well, I do have the end of the. Hold on a second. I was trying to contact the person as his friend. and he can talk to, get him to let me just see if I can reach him. Hold on a second. He might be sleeping because he gets up early in the morning. You know, us old people got to get our sleep. Hold on.
Well, if y'all are getting to sleep, y'all sleep for me, because working from home with 5 kids, 3 in school, and the young 2 are under 3. This mama tired, y'all. That the night that I made the posters, you guys, I did not go to sleep at all. I was up the whole night. I literally finished the posters at 5 that morning, and I was hopping in the shower getting ready to head to the support rally.
Well, thank you so much for making those posters. We really
And I
do
will be
appreciate
making more. I did make a post in the .chu for people, to let me know how many posters they wanted or if they needed a poster, so I could have an estimate how many to make, and
Yes.
that way I can go ahead and get started on them tomorrow, and I'll get them loaded into my car and
Yeah.
get them passed
Well,
out.
from my immediate, I can already tell you I'm going to need like 20 with me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be heading to get supplies tomorrow to make them. I got to get more paper, and my husband said, as much stuff as you've been printing, I'm going to need you to buy me another ink cartridge.
Tell him God got you. He's going to repay you.
I said, I got this. I said, I'll go buy another one. That's okay. I just might need your credit card.
Okay, so Jeanette, as soon as I get the person to get his contact information, I'll send it off to you. So got that.
Right. Well, thank you. That'll be one less headache. Because like I said, I've been trying. Me and my sisters, we really have been trying to reach. And I have a cousin that's actually in New York who's reaching out. So I mean, we got people at all angles trying to help us. Because we can't let this go silent.
No. It's time. It's almost 25 years is long enough.
Yeah.
24, 25 years is long enough. It's time to shut this down and bring Alabama into a new era, a new way of logic, and to unite.
And I don't want my husband sitting in there another 10, 15 years. We don't, for something that he did not do. So it's time to bring awareness to this so we can get a new trial and get him home. This doesn't need to drag out. People need to understand what's really going on. So the more people that's looking, the eyes of the justice system are going to see we're being watched, So we're not going to get quiet.
Keep pushing forward. Despite the looks, despite what people say, they try to question you. They try to shut it down. They try to call you names or mock you or belittle you. It's like high school all over again. Ignore it. We're adults now. You can call me whatever you want to. As long as you don't try to harm my family,
Yes.
Okay, Stanley asked, do you make posters for cars also?
I can. Yes, actually I can. I've got a couple because I had made some smaller ones, and I've got them in my car right now. I made them on scrapbook paper, and it's cardstock, and you can stick it in your rear view. And if you want them bigger, it's not hard to do. I usually print them out in big font. I did the black thick lettering because it's the easiest to see and it's straightforward. That's the reason I made the posters the way I did, is because it was straightforward. You could see it and it was visible to the eye. But yes, it is that can be done too, and the font adjusted to fit that size poster board, and you can stick it in your back window, or the smaller ones you can stick in your side window. So if you want to stick one on either side in your back windows, don't do it on your front driver's side, passenger side, or they'll get you for some kind of obstruction. But they can't say anything about you having any kind of decal, anything on your car, or even bumper stickers. If you want to, I can look into that too. Bumper stickers. You want a big old bumper sticker on your car, we can do that too. We can even do magnets, car magnets. You can do the car magnets that stick on the side of your car. They can't say anything about that either, as long as it's not obstructing your view as a driver.
Okay. Ms. McCraney, did you set up your own GoFundMe?
I have not yet, no.
When are you going to do that?
I'll figure out how to get it done. But that really will help with his books and stuff like that right there. Putting money on his books and on his phone, because the worst thing
as far as his books, do you have like his number? So like if people want to donate to his books, they can do that and things like that.
You can just send a money order actually straight to the jail in his name, and that's how they do it. Like there.
Oh, so they don't do a like a
Digital.
Western Union and stuff like that. They don't do that.
No. You actually you can mail them to them, or you can actually take them to the jail, but it has to be like in money
I
order
told you
form.
we're backwards in this town. We're the last to get to.
Wow. Wow. They don't have JPEG or anything like that either, huh?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
You would think they would have electronic forms of payment like other places do, to
Yeah.
where you can easily.
Mhm.
No, they're gonna make
Yeah.
you spend that gas money and everything to send
Exactly.
anything. They're gonna make you spend that postage stamp. They're gonna get money any way they can.
Florida has
Yep.
JPay, so that's odd.
It says, Mr. John, I think he will help. His uncle is a federal judge and a cousin that is a U.S. attorney. He knows the steps, no doubt. They have a lot of money, so it's harder to shut him down. Okay, Sarah.
That's what we need. That right there.
Exactly. Okay, Sarah. Sarah, why are you not hitting the link?
I'm
That's
like,
how
who is
you
he?
fight fire. That's how you fight fire.
I'm like, who is Mr. John?
You come forward with more money, more influence, and you show
That's what
that
it takes money to do this kind of stuff. I mean, whether you
Yes.
like it or not, it's all about. That's how they're able to do certain things to people.
But if you got all that money and good morals and you can't be bribed, that's where it counts.
Exactly.
And for those, those who want to speak up and, maybe you've been bribed to, hey, don't speak up. Don't do it. Hey, we'll take, we won't arrest you if you stay quiet. No, speak up. Just speak up. Because what they're doing is illegal. They can't bribe you. They can't harass you. And if it's proven that you're being harassed, then they can't get in trouble.
JB was living with a caretaker at the time, her dance instructor. So
whatever happened, what really happened with that situation?
I'm not sure, so I can't speak on it.
Do anybody?
So I'm really not sure.
Do you know? I mean, Michaela, do you know?
I do know that her son did comment. Her biological son commented on my TikToks, a few of them, speaking his truth. I don't know specific details, so I don't want to speak on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I know she definitely was. She had visitation with her dad too, from the video that he made, from what I gathered.
Okay.
Well,
I was waiting for him to come on. I sent him a link, Tina. I sent him the link, and he said I could use his content, and so I don't know if he is. Let me see what he said. Hold on a second. He has not responded. He was sending me stuff earlier this morning, but I haven't heard anything from him this evening. I did tell him, but yeah.
But guys, you wonder why we push to vote so bad? It's instances like this. Y'all don't realize how powerful voting can be until you keep someone who is corrupted from gaining a higher position. Instances like this, these are examples why we push to vote and to get people like this out of office with their old way of thinking and their corruptness and their dark morals. Otherwise, we're stuck back in the Stone Age.
Okay, I'm gonna be checking more of your your Twitter, Michaela, because I didn't get a chance to check your Twitter out. So
You talking about her TikTok?
Yeah, her TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be checking some of that out. And I'm telling you, you guys have given me so much homework in this. I've been checking and just I'm still trying to get my mind around this, how this was able to happen to him without any other evidence.
You just can't
Exactly.
convict somebody on 4. Well, they did drop the last count, right? And the rape charge.
Well, he was being charged for the same count, so they had to drop one of the murder charges.
So he essentially ended up with 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they was
just
charged twice for the same account for
you
4
just
years,
can't.
and then
But here's the thing: when they were doing the guy Valentine, they only had him with 2 counts.
It's not what you
Exactly.
know, it's who you know.
exactly.
Huh?
It's not what
wasn't
you
even-
know, it's who you know.
So okay. Okay.
Mhm.
The reason why
Yeah.
it's able to happen in a small town like this, where just that DNA was so-called enough to convict him, is because not enough people know how to think for themselves. And you have some of these higher ups or these other areas, these other demographics, that only one person in the household thinks for everybody. You get in line and that's it. You don't have any other, when you're living a comfy, cushy lifestyle, you don't say anything. It doesn't matter what you know. As long as you're living that comfy lifestyle, you don't speak up, sadly. I'm sorry, ain't no amount of money gonna make me shut up, because I can go make my own. So, but when you don't have that mentality to go make your own money, or you're being taken care of or supplied for, that's the mentality. And sadly, a lot of people don't know how to think for themselves. They're followers. They don't know how to think for themselves. They're going to do what somebody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are related, if not by blood, then through the department or through whose dad is who and whose grandpa worked here. And
yep, they all grew up together. Their parents grew up together. Their grandparents grew up together. Hell, I think half of them, their marriages are arranged. I don't even think they truly love you. I think they're arranged, honestly. It's because the kids grew up together. It's like, oh, y'all are going to get married because we're going to keep this power going.
yeah. I find it unbelievable. Of course, it is a small town and they did do it. You can't convict somebody with 4 counts of capital murder because you found semen that has already been explained. Like, you don't have anything else but semen. You have no hair, no skin, no blood under the nails, no nothing. And to claim that this man killed these 2 girls and raped them, or raped JB, it's absurd. You have no fingerprints, but the police are all over the car. You have no witnesses that can put him, aside from his own testimony where he tells you that he had sex with her. But there's witnesses who've seen police. It's just stretching.
I want to answer that.
You want to answer
I want to answer that.
Okay.
First of all, I didn't say he didn't know they weren't murdered. He knew her as Jennifer, as a whole different name. It's not that we knew 2 people had got murdered, true enough. But at the same time, it wasn't a relationship. Everybody's had, well, I'm not going to say everybody. Some people have had a one-night stand and left it at that. And at least he did know years later who it was. Some people don't know who they slept with, But it's not the fact that he just didn't know 2 people were killed. He just didn't know it was so-called Jennifer,
I'm sorry,
So, I
but
mean,
if you can recall every single one of your one-night stands, you've got too much time on your hands, and you wanted to remember them, because some of them I ain't trying to remember. So I've gotten older, and I can't even tell you what I had for breakfast yesterday. So I'm
right here with you with that one.
I want to say, like, no disrespect to the victims or their families or anything, but I feel like to rebuttal the fact that Mr. McCraney knew her as Jennifer is kind of not possible, because think of when you were 17, 16,
Yep.
other people, you know what I mean? even girls now that are younger than myself, I'm 22, girls still lie about their age, about their name, about
Yes.
when, you know what I mean? It's, you just can't say for sure what you would have done or what you wouldn't have done in their situation or at their age. Because like Miss McCraney said, we
That's
were all
correct.
16.
So
I
many
mean, that's
so many older people say, oh, I know that person. I know them beyond a shadow of a doubt. They would never. But then their peers know different. You know, your friends know how you really are when you're not around your parents. I'm sorry, I'm a
Yeah.
parent, but you know, my parents know
Yeah.
stuff that I didn't do because they were working all the time. But if they knew half the stuff I did, that their jaws would probably drop.
Yes.
They knew
I
it.
mean, and since this has went on, I found out that you know, some people are saying sometimes she used the name Jessica as well. So I mean, I can't prove that that's true, but that's what somebody that went to school with her stated, that Jessica or Jennifer is some of the names that she would use. So, but I mean, I don't know if it's factual or not, but that's what is being said.
There's
I have
government
so,
names, there's nicknames, there's pet names. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go by
Yeah.
anything.
Yes, because I mean, my name's Jeanette, but they call me Jay. That's completely different, you know. But people 20-something years ago wouldn't have knew me by Jay. That didn't start until me and my husband got together, you know. That was his name that he gave me.
Okay,
So,
Yeah,
somebody.
I was just going to echo that. Like when my friends and I would go out, like, okay, my name is Shamitris, or
yeah,
like
gonna
Jeanette,
answer Sarah.
like Jeanette may call me Tracy. But when
Yeah.
we would go out, it's like, oh, my name is Regina. Totally different. So, you know, you just never know.
Because it's your circle of friends. You have a different name for a different set of people who know you professionally, formally, informally, your homies. I mean, you have different names.
And as far as Miss Sarah is stating right here, it didn't matter what his past was because evidently he beat that. He's back in. He got his law degree back. So I mean, it doesn't matter to me. He gave his heart for my husband. And that's all that matters. Everybody has a checkered past, so it wouldn't have mattered to me what he did in his past. That was before my husband's time. You can get an attorney right now and not know about their past. You don't know everything about the attorney that you have, or you know, you don't know everything about somebody that you're with. So it didn't matter to me when I heard that he had a past with drugs. Oh well, I wasn't there. I can't.
I take the
that.
down to earth attorney over the one that everybody knows.
There are many attorneys that are built in prison or simply about.
Yep, there's a whole bunch of great attorneys now. They were in prison and they came out to be
You better say
attorneys.
Yes.
yes.
That is the truth.
Learn from experience.
And matter of fact, he was parting from that. You know, they say someone lied on the stand on him about that. But like I said, you don't know. You can't judge somebody by what their past says. It's a lot people say about me, you know. But hey,
What they say about
I
you?
didn't know, you know, that I'm the sweetest thing ever. And Shamika doesn't know that.
At the end of the day, your past is what makes you who you are today.
She is so sweet.
Yeah.
She could be a little fireball. I can see it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, were you guys in the courtroom? Michaela, were you in the courtroom? Leslie, were you in the courtroom? What about you, Shamit?
I was not. I was
No,
not.
ma'am, I was not, and I was actually pardoned from jury duty because of my brother being a police officer.
Yeah.
It was not going to happen. They're not going to let me in there because I promise you I'd have been sitting there like, nope, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And then I did not go into the courthouse because, again, my brother is a police officer and his fiance is the one that stands at the entrance of the courthouse to let people in. So I stayed away from it because they're not going to let me. You know, my brother even reached out to me and said, hey, please, you know, but I did protest and I happily waved my sign at all of those uniformed officers. A few of them waved at me, and including my brother, but the other ones looked at me crazy, and I just looked over at them and waved and smiled like my mama taught me to, kill them with kindness. And I waved.
What did your brother think of you just going full force like this?
I could tell he understood because he laughed, he smiled, he waved at me. So I know there's no hard feelings, and a lot of them in that police force know the truth, but, you know, if we can be the voice for them, because, you know, when you get caught up in something like that, it's hard to come forward when you know information. And so I'm going to be the voice for those police officers, and hopefully maybe I can be that change that they decide to step forward and say, you know what, enough is enough.
Sharon said, I make sure I bring somebody with me. I have
You covered. You're covered.
my girlfriend lives in Montgomery. How far is it from Montgomery?
Montgomery, it is not even an hour and a half, maybe, if that.
Okay, because I want to make sure I'll be like, Eartha, help.
Hour and a half, maybe. Just
Yeah,
at certain parts where it says heavy police force or, you know, police force present, I would definitely slow down at that spot.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I don't get speeding tickets because I drive like grandma anyway, so I don't have to worry about that part.
even driving like grandma, they try anything nowadays.
Well, even
Yeah.
You blink too fast, you're getting pulled over. What? Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully Miss Jeanette coming, you know, saying, you know what, I'm not backing down, and being that wife that she is, and she can be that inspiration, saying, you know what, she's stepping up for what is right, whether people agree with it or not. Hopefully that gains and garners that national attention, and more people will come forward and say, you know what, that's why I say the more people that will come to Dothan on Saturday, because the more people that stand up, the more people that might come forward. You know, when we have a small group, they might be like, I'm still kind of scared to come forward. But if we got a large mass, you know, they might be like, okay, we got an army now. We started out with a platoon, but now we got the whole army. So we might make a difference. You know, we can make a difference. But we got to be that army. We got to be that army of one.
And I understand if you can't make it. You know what I'm saying? I get that. I get it. But you shouldn't say you can't make it to everything we do, because it's going to be more than just Saturdays, you know?
Exactly.
So if you didn't make it to the first one, like I've already had people call and apologize that they're not going to make it Saturday because of their work schedules. I get that. I understand. You got to work. But at the same time, don't say that the next time we turn around, you know?
Yeah, because we can do this different days of the week, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you should be able to make it to something. You know, don't just wait till it's time for trial and then you show up, you know? I need for you to be there along the way this time, because that's what they're watching. They want to see that he has that support the whole way, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's time now, you guys. Let's keep gathering up, and let Dothan be that example, and let's line those sidewalks so they see how many people disagree, and so that they can see that they're not speaking for our better interest. They're only speaking for their interest, and they don't care about their citizens at all. So let's also start by getting them out of office, you know, because old age ain't doing it. So we've got to get them out of office, you know, voting. This is why I advocate voting. People don't realize I have voted every year, every election since I was old enough to vote. Because when you grow up in a certain area and you see how bad things are, you realize that even if it's your one vote, it can still make a difference, because all them votes can add up. If each person will vote for the opposite of what is corrupt, then, and do your research, people. You can, I don't mean just look at their platform. Go look at their social media. Go FBI stalk them. I don't care. Look who their friends are, you know, look who they deal with, and you'll have your answer, you know. If you know who the different names are that hold power in this town, you can see who socializes with who. When you go to Walmart, pay attention. When you're out in public, pay attention. You see who stops and talks to who. You know, when you're in a small town, you should know who some of these people are. If you're paying attention, I do. Sorry, I'm FBI. You know, I stalk everything, you know. But you learn things. We've all been on social media where you click on one thing, next thing you know, it's 3 a.m., you're on something else. You know,
tell me about it.
Look at these people, look who they associate with, look at their friends list, you know, and then you'll have your answer. Like, they might be against the other candidate that's running, but look at them too. because they might actually have some of the same mutual friends, and even though they're running on different platforms, they might still have some of the same mutual interests at part, and they might
For
know some. They might know some of the same people that's in their pockets.
some people were wondering where Justice Park is. It's located directly across from the courthouse here in Dothan. It's where the water fountain is, right
Yeah.
across from Cherry and Irwin, the law firm.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
So
if you come the back way from Daleville, like say if you were to, if you're coming from the back way from Daleville, it's like going southeast. You go straight through it. You can't miss it.
yeah. So, and it's plenty of parking right across the street. So I mean, you have places to park where you don't have to worry about your vehicle.
Yeah, you'll
So
pass the
we'll
turnoff
stand.
that takes you to Headland. If you pass the sign that would have turned you off to go to Headland, keep going.
Yeah. hmm So I mean, it's going to be a good location. I feel it's not too big, but it's just the right amount of space for us to get out there and hold our sign. People can see that we're
Yes.
standing for Coley. Standing. So we're.
And I will make a bunch of signs, even if you don't, you need a
Sure.
poster. Just let me know. Let somebody know. I'll estimate. I'll still try to make a good. If I can make at least 100, I'm happy with that. But let me know so
Yeah.
I know how many to make.
And I mean, I've prepared myself for the naysayers, and that's okay. People are entitled. Let them speak. Let them say whatever they want. We're out there for one reason. It's a peaceful rally. We're just speaking out for Coley, and that's all that matters, and for this injustice. So they just need to see that we're not out there to argue, not out there to prove a point, anything like that. They just need to see that he has the support. That's mainly what it's about.
Don't entertain them. Don't give them the satisfaction. Just keep standing up for what you believe in, because they talk all this crap because they want you to stand down. They want you to doubt what you're standing for. But keep standing strong in your confidence. Don't doubt for a minute for what you're doing. If you have that doubt, then they're getting to you. Think for yourself.
Yeah, don't put doubt in a peaceful situation. Don't allow doubt to come in a peaceful situation. So we got this Saturday, 9:00. And
pray up, everybody. Keep praying up between now and then. So
yeah, and put that hashtag Coley Strong. Anytime you post it on the social media, whatever platform you're on, please hashtag Coley ColeyStrong.
I just if you want to check out my Facebook, I made a cover photo that's hashtag Coley Strong. If you want to, I posted it in the .chew group, but if you guys want it, it's you can post it on your back cover photo. So when everybody clicks on your profile, your Facebook, they're gonna see you. They're gonna see it.
On TikTok, the hashtag, I did start using Coley Strong, but throughout the past 7 months, I've been using the Bring Home Coley McCraney.
So we should use both then.
And that one has crazy people have seen it. Crazy amounts of people. Okay. It's definitely spreading.
Yes, it's spreading like wildfire.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you addressed it. Jeanette, someone was asking about a GoFundMe. Didn't you set that up, or the .chew?
She said she hadn't set it up yet.
Was going to set it up, but my god sister has messaged me and said she's going to go ahead and get it taken care of. Said she'll set it up.
Okay, good.
So it should be set up soon. And then I'll be able to share it. I'll share it with the .chew or whoever, with Miss Sylvia, whoever, needs it. You all have it.
Shout out to Tammy with .chew. I know she's in here today.
Yes.
Shout out to her.
She's a busy person, but I mean, she's good. She's getting the story out there, and she's been a Coley warrior since the beginning. That's what I can call her.
A Coley warrior. That's good. That's a nice name.
So I mean, and she's been there since the beginning, and I appreciate everything she's doing to get the word out. Her and all her chewers, as they call themselves. So, I mean, I'm happy with the way she's carried herself throughout all this. She isn't biased about anything. She sees nothing but facts. So, and I appreciate that about her.
Yeah. Yes. So, guys, anybody who can make it out to okay, you don't have any address up here for anybody because the outside people don't know where this other stuff is.
Oh yeah, that's true. If you know about the Houston County Courthouse, though, because we only have one, and it's on South Oak Street in Dothan.
Look,
So it's
us
right
outsiders
there.
don't know nothing.
Yes. If you type in your Google Dothan City, Houston County Courthouse, Houston County Courthouse, you'll find it. It's only one.
Yeah.
It's only one first. Because if not, you're going to end up at the federal, courthouse. That's not where you want to go.
Yeah. Look for their little fancy digital sign that's always posting different ads. You can't miss it. It's right there.
Yeah. We're right up under that digital sign. That's pretty much where we'll be. So
how do we go about, I wish we could do that, like, get a Coley Strong ad on that digital sign.
Thank you, Randa.
So when people drive by, they can see it.
That's a good.
Thank you, Randa.
That's a really good idea.
What was the question again, Leslie?
Houston County has, Dothan has that digital sign they put up, their marketing sign. And I wonder what it would take, to get a hashtag Coley Strong to show up on that sign. So when people drive by, they're going to see it on their way to Southeast or wherever they're going in Dothan. Dothan's a big city. Almost everybody passes that sign. Yeah. So at some point, they can see it.
So I'm not sure how to go about that, because it's also a digital sign going around the circle near the Flying J. It's one there as well. But I'm not sure who I would speak to in reference to getting that done.
Let me look that up and see who those signs are marketing. Maybe it's Durden. I don't know. But, I know Durden's one of the, billboard sign peoples. So let me see if they're the one.
Casey said get a billboard. Digital bill. No, she says not digital. Get a billboard.
Yes, they've got the regular billboard too. Like, I know there's so many empty billboards I see passing.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. Yeah. I could see as far as like what we have out here by our courthouses or stuff like that. And when your GoFundMe is set up, you could use definitely like other states' billboards and see if they would allow you to do that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
But let me
read something to look into.
But I know, especially here in Ozark, that would be just golden, just to have so many Coley Strong fill up all of the empty billboards and let them drive by that every single day and see that and let it eat at their conscience.
Even if it's the posters that we can stick in the ground.
Yes.
Like the little yards.
Yes.
I mean, that might be more feasible to do it like that.
That too.
If the city doesn't on us,
Like even the car magnets, those little, I see so many people riding around with the magnets on their car and they can't say anything about that while you're driving. And you're an advertisement for it. I'm not saying it's an advertisement, but they're going to see it while you're driving. And they come on and off and you can just stick them on the side of your doors and it's not obstructing your view as a driver. So they can't say anything to you for having that.
Yeah.
As opposed to sticking something in your window and then trying to say, oh, that's obstructing your view as a driver. But if the magnets on the side of the car or the decals, the bumper stickers, they can't say anything about that. It's your car. They're not paying your tag and insurance.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we need to get together with and see the different avenues.
We'll talk about it. We can talk about it Saturday. When we get together.
And getting the different avenues to, to where everybody's going to see Coley Strong wherever they go.
Yes. So Saturday, I'll bring a notebook and be ready to write down anybody's suggestions on what we can do to get the word out.
That means I got to get up early in the morning.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
I'll be up anyways. It's okay. Just get that coffee ready, ladies. I'll bring a big old pot of coffee for everybody.
Yeah. And let me see. I'll know more about the GoFundMe on Saturday, so I'll be able to let you all know that as well, because she's working on that. And it's not before the rumor gets out there. It's not for the defense. They know that you cannot attach this to the defense team. That way, they can't try and say the defense team is trying to raise. No. This is about Coley. So I just want to go ahead and clear that.
This is for
just want to go ahead and clear that just to make sure.
Ms. McCraney, did you want to specify exactly what kind of books Coley is into? You know, as far I know, there's like you said mystery, but specifically a genre inside of mystery, like what type of mysteries he likes.
He reads anything, and what people need to know, he's a speed reader. So like no matter how thick the book is, Coley can read like 6 books, you know what I'm saying, in 3 days.
Guys, go ahead and buy the whole set. It's a whole series. Just go ahead and buy the whole thing.
Yeah. So he reads, and it doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter if it's mystery, Christian, just don't get him no romance. Nobody buys my husband romance novels. Okay, we're gonna leave that out. No romance. Okay, but everything other than that, go for it.
Does he have a preference for the small print or the large print? I'm not saying he's old, I promise. But I know some of us.
Hey! Watch your mouth there, Leslie. Hey,
I know that it's me.
Print, so
I
feel
prefer
you.
large print. So if you see me reading something and you see me pulling it far away, I really can't see. So I asked that because sadly related to age, our vision goes too. And does he might have great vision that my husband does for the most part.
I'm young and I don't know what my excuse is, but I have real bad vision. I need the big print.
I'm gonna chalk it up to genetics.
It doesn't matter. He actually has reading glasses, so it doesn't matter. But make sure if you purchase any books, they have to be paperback.
Okay.
Anything other than paperback, they will send it back. No letters or anything can go inside the book. If you send him a letter, make sure it's separate from the book.
And white envelopes, white paper, no kisses on the page, no ink, no perfume, none of that stuff.
Yeah, none of that. So and whatever you send him, they're gonna read. So he gets it after they read it, because it has to go to through a whole nother division before he gets it. So but just be mindful of what you write,
Yeah,
and
I was going to say
really
that.
love the support. Yeah, he will really love the support.
Yes. Okay.
So any kind of letters of encouragement will really be great. Just tell him to keep pushing, because he got this. Let him know that we got him.
So anything else they can use besides money on books, letters, books, anything else that they can be sent as far as?
That's all that can be sent, actually.
Okay.
That's it. Because like I said, it's only so much they'll let you have.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
That's it. And now he's crazy about his snacks, so he'll just be grateful that I'm putting extra money on his books, because that's one thing. And that was kind of sweet. Whenever he was in court with us not knowing that he would still be there, I didn't get him a money order for this week. But when he got back, he called me and he said, "Jay, the fellas." And I said, "Who are the fellas?" He said, "The guys here at the jail, they all went in together and got me snacks." So whenever he got there, they had like 2 weeks worth of snacks for him, because they know my husband would eat. So that showed, they were very upset and how things turned out, but they wanted to look out for him. Even when he wasn't there, they made sure when he came back, he would have something to smile about. So.
And that's what it's about,
Oh yeah, it is. So, but
as far as what comments book wise, what would you say would be the average that you put on there a week? So that way, if we can get them set up for the whole year or whatever,
But they don't allow them to have more a certain amount of money in there.
That's what I was wondering. As far as
what they do now is you can have the money orders. Like, say for instance, if I go in there, I can take 2 money orders. But if you mail them in, they have to put them on this book. Like they'll but if I try and walk in and say I have a money order, you can mail in as many as you want, but you cannot take them in. So like if you mail them something and I go in there Sunday, they'll say he already has a money order. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So yeah, so they just won't let me turn nothing in. But just knowing that he already has something is fine with me, as long as it doesn't give out. So that's the main thing right there. But whenever you do the money orders, they have to be addressed to Coley McCraney. You have to fill it. Yeah.
Ozark, Alabama 36361, I think.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure he keeps getting his snacks.
Yeah,
I feel him on that one. Okay, I get hangry when I don't have my sweet snacks either. Okay,
yeah.
I get it.
He looks forward to that little soda he can get and hurry up and guzzle it down before they throw away the can. But he looks forward to that, you know.
Yeah.
But we gonna bring them. We gonna bring them home one way or the other. It's time. You know, a lot of us are sick of the way this is going in the higher ups and being trampled on, and they only care about us around the time they want that vote.
Yeah.
Yes, but all right, Miss Sylvia, I know it's late your way.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, but I look forward to doing this again. And like I said, until Saturday, unless you need us before, we'll be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need to get myself geared up and figure out the route and all this kind of stuff. And so
yes, it's a straight shot once you hit 231. You're good.
231.
Or is it 431? Where's she coming from? 431 or 231? Don't listen to me. I'll have you lost.
What side of Georgia are you?
Where are you coming from?
Sure. We'll talk behind the scene because there's nosy people in
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't tell my whereabouts until I get there.
You better say it.
I know that's right.
You don't know who's on the live, so
no. Exactly.
Yeah, but I look forward to meeting you Saturday.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Safe travel. Yes.
Thank you.
So,
all right.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Leslie, why don't you pray for us? Pray us out of here.
Okay. I don't mind if I do. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you have done for us and for putting us in the paths of where you want us to be and for bringing us together for a very important cause, and that is Coley. And please continue to watch over Coley and Miss Jeanette and family. And please, Lord, thy will be done. We know your plan. Well, you know your plan and your purpose, and we will patiently wait, and we will continue to fight and push and not back down. And we pray that true justice can be served and Coley can come home and be with his family, and Ozark can be delivered from this dark curse that has been put over our town all of these years, Lord. And please, Lord, just protect everybody who has become a part of this, Lord, and just watch over everybody and just protect us all, God. And please, Lord, touch the hearts of those who know about what is going on or who have kept these secrets, God, or who have a dark heart, Lord. Please let this be the change that they need to finally be tired of living a lie and to finally come forward and end it and bring peace to all families and our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for doing that, Leslie.
Amen.
No problem.
All right, guys. Till next time.
All right.
Bye, guys.
God bless you guys.
Bye. Good night.
God bless you all. Good night.
Love you, Jeanette.
Bye.